Hey y'all, so I've decided to use my platform to share my story. And if you don't already know, my name is Lulu. And I guess I'll start from the beginning, from my first traumatic experience. When I was around 10 years old, I went to the country with my grandfather to visit one of my aunts. It's a country town in Texas. And, now that I'm older, I see the omen because there was a female horse who was giving birth, and she passed away while she was giving birth to her calf while I was there. It was really sad. And, now that I think about it, it was like, it's like losing innocence, right? And so my aunt was cooking. I remember I never had crawfish before. So I was trying different things. And, I was with my grandfather, which I was attached to his hip. I love my grandfather. He was like my guardian angel when he was alive. And I remember going into my father's brother's room, one of my father's brother's room. And, maybe later on I might reveal his name. But I just want to keep it, not so much revealing his name right now. But I was in one of my father's brother's room, and he was teaching me how to play the game. And I was around 10 years old. And so my grandfather was in the living room with my aunt, and I was in a room with him. And he was teaching me how to play the game. And, he told me, come sit on my lap, and I suggest, if you're a child, never sit on a grown man's lap. But I really didn't think I thought it was weird, but I didn't think too much of it because I was like, okay, this is my uncle. So it's teaching me how to play the game while I was on his lap. And he had made me some Kool-Aid. And I drank the Kool-Aid, and I don't remember anything else after that. I woke up in the middle of the night and I had on pajamas. So I didn't have on my regular clothes anymore. I had on pajamas. I don't know how or who changed me, but I know that I was sleeping in his bed. And I know for a fact, us spending a night, I would have never, because it was my first time meeting him. And so I would have never slept in his room. I would have slept with my grandfather. Wherever my grandfather was at, that's where I would have been. And so I woke up and his hand was inside of my shirt. And so I kind of closed my eyes back again because I was like, what is going on? And so after a while, I don't know, I felt like I was in and out because I was trying to remember the details, as an adult about, what exactly happened. Because I can remember like it was yesterday, but there's a lot of things that were blurry to me that God, I felt, sheltered me from until, I came into my psychic gifts and abilities, and God revealed to me what really happened because, it was time. And so when I woke up again, his hand was still inside my shirt, but I can tell he was mostly asleep. So I kind of tried to scoot out of the bed and get out of the bed. And he woke up and he was like, where are you going? And I was like, I have to use the bathroom. And so I went in the bathroom in my aunt's house. You know how the bathroom has double doors? It was like sliding doors. So it was like there was an entrance from the bathroom, the hallway bathroom from his room. And then there was another entrance or exit on the other side that would go to the living room. And so I used the bathroom. I didn't even flush the toilet. I went in the living room and I saw my grandfather on the pull-out couch. And I went on the pull-out couch and I didn't speak of the situation. I just grabbed his arm, grabbed the cover and laid under me. And I could feel the presence of like this dark presence, hover over me. But I just kept my eyes closed and hugged my grandfather tight. I'm not leaving. Hold me. And I didn't even tell him because, my grandfather, he had a revolver. You know what I'm saying? It was loaded in it. And I know, I'm like, he's too old to go to jail. And I kept this to myself until I was in high school. And then later on in my life, I kind of wanted to search God, why, do I not remember all the details of what went on? And basically, you know, he knew that he couldn't take my virginity because, you know, he couldn't like bust, you know how you hear bust a cherry? He couldn't bust my cherry. So basically, you know, he basically was molesting me with his hands in my pants. And he also, when he gave me that Kool-Aid, he also put like some kind of sleeping pill or a bar. I don't know if y'all know what a bar is, like an XO or something like that inside of my drink. So that way I would pass out and I wouldn't remember what went on. And I don't remember this, and I didn't see this until after I got older and realized what actually happened to me. And so after that, you know, I was really afraid of, you know, sexual intimacy until I lost my virginity. I remember that it was December and my sister had ran away from home, and I didn't want her to run away by herself. So we left and I went to my friend's house. Our friend's house, which was kind of like, I don't know, you know how you got cousins and you call them your friends and stuff like that. So we were at their house, and, you know, I was going on, you know, I was 17 years old, going on 18 years old. And, that's when I lost my virginity. And after that, it was just like, I just went into a spiral of promiscuity, you know. And, you know, my mother wasn't the best example of, you know, how a woman should act, because she was chasing men. I was the oldest and I was very sheltered in the house. And, you know, I felt like after I got a taste, it was just like, I wasn't like out there. I did have like a small little circle. You know how a lot of women say, you know what I'm saying? I have a small circle, but I was definitely, you know, I really didn't care about other people's feelings. You know what I'm saying? It was like free game, you know? But I definitely was living adult experiences as a child, as a young age. You know, I'm the oldest out of 5, and my mom had me, as I shared in the part 1 of my my story. My mom had me at 14. You know, her and my dad were very young when they had me. I felt like I broke a generational curse because I didn't have my first child till I was 22 years old. So, you know, I wasn't really the person that I was pretending to be, or I feel like I was acting out because, you know, I really didn't have anyone to talk to. I really didn't have an example, someone to teach me about morals. And yeah, I really didn't have that in my life other than what was going on TV. And plus, my mom had us moving back and forth from Texas to Washington State. And that's where I met my children's father, my son and my daughter's father there. And when I met him, he was just getting out of jail. And I met him through his family members, through my mother's father, not my dad's father, my mother's father. And he was dating one of his aunts, my baby's dad's aunt. My grandfather, my mother's father, was dating my baby's dad's aunt. And that's how we met, because she was babysitting us. My mom would leave us at home for 3 months at a time by ourselves. And I was, you know, having 5 children, a 1-year-old from 1 to 9, you know, just kids as a kid, right? And I was in high school. And so I met him, we met each other. And so, you know, he started living with me, and then my sister boyfriend started living with us as well. And, you know, he ended up going to jail. I ended up coming back to Texas and things of that nature, finishing out high school. And then everything went downhill when I came back up here with when I came back to Washington State with my son, and I lived with his family. And, you know, that's a whole story in itself. You know, I found out that his mother and his sister, they were doing, you know, black magic on me. It's the reason why, you know, I feel like I was in hell, like I was in a spiritual prison. You know, I was mentally, physically, and verbally abused in that home. And I didn't have anyone to run to, anywhere to go at the time. You know, I was working. I had my first child. I didn't know what to do. CPS got involved in my life, and I'm running out of time right now, but stay tuned.